Good evening and welcome to Celtic Rumours TV, episode number 154 of the Bawz and Bovril podcast with myself, Mark, and the night Big Jerry's joining us. Evening, Jerry.
How you doing, Marco? You all right, buddy?
I'm good, bud. How are you?
Living the dream, mate. Living the dream. Missing the football, but however, we'll get there. I think we're on the same boat. It's getting boring.
It's boring. It was hell into it when he games on, man.
It's the only upsides leaves the monkeys stewing that little bit longer about the pen.
That's the only. I said that at the time. That was the only good point yet.
It's good.
You'll just go on with that stuff and shout-outs and that. We're linked to our forum and everything, www.celticrumours.co.uk. Everything like that's in the description box below. The link to the forum or Discord, everything's in there. You're all more than welcome to come across there and join in there. We're just under 893 subs, I think we're up to. Brilliant. Thanks very much again to everybody. Subs, comments, listens in live, listens in back, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, whatever. Really appreciate it. And I mean, that's we've had something like nearly 4,000 views over the last two podcasts or something, Jerry. Do you know what I mean? That's crazy numbers for what we've set out to kind of just thought we were doing. Do you know what I mean?
If my camera had been on, mate, it'd be a lot more with the female contingent. Do you know what I mean?
That'll be right.
I think I'm the draw with the females if we see the camera on. But no, that's fantastic, mate.
Mind I've met you.
Grizzly Adams hasn't got a look on. No, what was I going to see with the pod? The good thing is, everybody listening, I used to listen to it back, see going the long drives, mate. It's first class. Just listen to everybody talking about Celtic. You can't beat it. And you're laugh at the monkeys, well, you can. That's what life's all about.
A few shout-outs to some of the lads off the forum. Obviously, Paul's still on the injured list. His knee's giving him some amount of grief.
He's out for the season, mate.
He's a long-term, an LTI, a long-term injury. Tim Alloy, Richie, Malika, Welshie, Mikey, He's Sean 66, he put a post up and said, listens to this. I think he's a long distance driver as well, and he says he really loves listening to it. So we shout out to Sean 66 for the forum there. Who's on Bobby right in there again. Bobby, smash a like. I remember hit the like button, please, people. Liam, nice to see you. Liam Doyle, mate. Aidan, again, nice to see you, bud. Evening grot bags. Terence in as well. Nice to see you in, Terence. I'll put the link out if Terence or anybody else wants to come on. You're more than welcome. Brian, nice to see you, Brian, bud. Plunge McNugget. That's a cracking name. Plunge McNugget. Nice to see you, bud. San Fran Celtic. Guy for San Francisco again. That's unbelievable, guys for American that are listening to us. Do you know what I mean?
It's good. It's brilliant when you get into the comments, you see all the new posters and all the rest of it. I think, imagine them wasting 5 minutes of life listening to any of us talking.
I know.
It's good.
Greg here. Evening, Greg. If you want to try and go on the night again, Greg, I'll put the link out. Kev, Stevie, I thought that was Stevie G. I thought, well, we've got an intruder here. Stevie, is that 5G? Evening, Stevie, 5G. Bobby live in, you know that. So I think that's everybody.
Yeah, it's it. Good stuff.
In the chat and
it's
absolutely brutal when he games on, isn't it?
Oh, mate, there's the only flip side I say is see them, it leaves them spewing. I'm sick of talking about it, but it leaves them spewing. Even you're talking to them at work, they can't get it out their head. It's rent-free stuff. I mean, we're bust of Christmas, New Year, the winter break, and everything have got going for them. So long may it continue. But the sooner the Bucky Thistle game comes, the better.
But I mean, they're not even camp doing any.
No,
I mean, they're still at full 100% mentalness stages. Some of the stuff you're seeing on Twitter and that is absolutely unbelievable, man.
Long may it continue. There's nothing better than seeing and listening to monkeys in distress. I mean, it's you can tell them straight away at work. The steam's still coming out their ears. So, it's my stomach's been sore for laughing, mate. So it's fantastic. But I'm just reading these comments.
Evening Northampton. Tim, nice to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming in again, bud.
Kuhn away to St Mirren.
He's away to St Mirren and loan. Kuhn.
First class, man.
That's a decent loan for me.
Definitely.
Because there's no. I would rather our players. Well, see, I was talking. I would end up going back to Japan. See, Japanese. He's Korean, into Kuhn.
Yep.
He would end up going back here that way, but at least going to St Mirren, we'll see about him. I'd have even gave them like so that Yang probably game.
Well, see, the thing is, if they're staying in the Scottish Football League, you're going to get a look at them. With them at St Mirren, the boys don't even need to move. You know what I mean? They're still staying local to Celtic and Glasgow. And anybody else. I think these Korean and Japanese boys will try and they'll all pal about. So going to a team that's kind of local as well is going to help them. You're going to get to see them. They're going to get to used to playing the Scottish game. So it's win-win-win for me, and that's the way it should hopefully go. I think Yang, I would put him out on loan. See, even if we could get another striker, and I know depending on the way this window goes, I wouldn't mind seeing and get a run a game somewhere else. It's only depend you can get another couple of strikers in. I think we're pushing the boat out trying to get one. But if you get two in...
Maybe if we signed that Mayovsky, we could give them as a kind of part of that deal for the rest of the season. Even Owen McCusker, nice to see you, mate. Nightmare in as well. Good to see you, pal.
Brian wanted me to go to yoga with him. That's an offer I've not had for a while. I can't even touch my knees, never mind touch my toes and do all that stuff.
Can you still see your toes?
No, mate, as I say, I started trying to go a wee fitness class with a pal of mine yesterday, and I could tell he was asking me for a good Christmas and New Year. He was trying to look at the 7 belly, but it's Iron Brew crisps and chocolate's my downfall, my man. I say it's harder to get in that shower. I mean, the legs aren't getting wet when I'm in the shower, so that was a clear sign to try and do something. So here's hoping, mate. You never know.
You do a bit up with hills and that.
What's that?
Do you do a lot of that hill walking and stuff like that? Is that only when we're playing them?
4 times a year, when we're playing them. That's the only times I'll go up, man, or else it's the old knees. And I've done it a couple of times. It depends. I mean, if she's doing my boxing or the kids are doing my boxing, it's always an excuse. But but it's generally 4 times a year we're playing them. That's when I go the long walks, mate.
Just hope that we fucking end up playing them a lot more times then, with finals and cup games
Oh,
or that then, isn't
no,
it?
not at all. Nah, I'd
To get you
rather
up the hills.
smashed out early. What about signings wise? You think we should have done stuff before now, or what? Are you happy enough just to soldier along now and see what happens unfolding?
I think everybody wanted something to be happening quicker than it has, but you've got to remind I know that they wouldn't even have been training or nothing, Jerry.
Yep.
If he'd signed a player like the last week or that, he'd just be sitting in a house somewhere or a hotel room kicking his heels.
Aye, definitely.
With no training. But I did, with this talk of this Kuhn, the Kuhn coming in, I did think that, I thought that would have actually happened today. So that he'd have to be there for Monday or that kind of thing. But if that's going to be happening, I think that will be announced probably Monday now.
Think so? No doubt over the weekend.
Well,
it looks depends on dusty, doesn't it?
But can you get the paperwork on that registered over the weekend? That's the thing about it.
Aye. Okay, but you could still come in and get training for Monday. But we'll wait and see. As I say, that looks as if it's done and dusted. But I tell you this, the boy's 24. He's not a project signing, is he?
No.
I mean, that's where do you draw the line when we keep calling these signings projects? I mean, 24, the first team experience he's got isn't really a project signing. So I'm looking forward to seeing the boy. I mean,
this guy, a lot of Celtic fans will be. I said on the forum, a lot of Celtic fans will be eating humble pie or this guy, I reckon.
I hope you're right.
I really do.
Aye.
And people, they're saying, will he get Palmer out the team, like this out the team? Right, just look at it, right? We're going to have, hopefully, Abada stays, right? We'll have Abada, the new guy, we'll have Palmer, and we'll have Maeda. There's my 4 wingers. We don't need to go and touch the likes of James Forrest, Mikey Johnson. You know what I mean? You've got enough wingers there at the club now to rotate it and keep it.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Keep everybody fresh and playing games. And this guy will be I think, honestly, he'll be a cracking player for us.
He
went to Ajax, right?
Aye.
He went to Bayern Munich. And again, I've said that this is kind of a smear, like, it's all these kind of stat-driven stuff and all this that flags these players up, right? The transfer fee is irrelevant. There are meant to be clauses in his contract about them qualifying for Europe and stuff like that. Plus, they are meant to be a bit skint and strapped for cash.
Yep.
Transfer fees, I keep saying it. I don't care about transfer fees. I prefer the actual wages that we spend. But this is obviously a deal that's come up and it's available. And I think, honestly, I think he'll end up being our number 1 right winger.
Good. Aye, good stuff.
And I think that'll allow Maeda to move out to the left again. And I've seen a few people saying it. Well, we move as Roger's going to maybe change back to his 4-2-3-1 and put Palmer in that number 10 role.
Yep.
It gives us options. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Even in 1966, even in Dock, nice to see you again, mate. Thanks very much for coming in, bud.
What about the Abada? Do you think it's been seized maybe Tata?
No, the more I'm reading and the more I'm hearing that, I'm not too sure now, Jerry.
Aye. No, I would hope to keep him at least to the end of the season. Tell you a 4-man, I was a massive fan, still am. Abada, everything he's done since he's come over here with the important goals he's scored and the back post goals he's got for us. So no, I think I'm hoping Abada stays on. It's good competition for spaces. And see how we going. But there's no many bad players play for Ajax and Bayern Munich. So the boys got to have something about them.
And again, see if he'd made the grade at Ajax, could you have afforded him? If he made the grade at Bayern Munich, could you afford them?
Aye, no,
I mean, that's one of the teams that we've a hell of a lot of Celtic fans say, talking about Ajax, that's the model we should follow and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And I totally agree with that, with the youth setup and stuff.
I was about to say to you, how do you know? I think that's the right way to go. But I would have liked to have tried to achieve something. It's not going to happen overnight. But I think every team, or a lot of the teams, would have liked to have gone down the way we produced, or they produced their kids. And even if they don't make it in the first team, a lot of the players that have been there. They've had a fantastic schooling and upbringing, and they try and play football the right way. So, but it takes a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I don't know what your youth set-up policy is, but
it's a riot. It's a riot. It's just absolutely. It's a waste of money. The Celtic youth system. Even Hoopy the Dog. Even Hoopy Bud. Thanks for coming in.
Never seen that one before. That's a good name.
Aye. It's like, I mean, I've spoke about it with everybody. You're not going to, right there, Rocco Vata, right?
Aye, well, that's what I was going to say,
Aye, without getting into whether he's getting bad advice or anything, there's no way a young player is going to prove himself to be good enough to get a chance in the Celtic first team squad playing that lowland league level. 30 games get called off because of winter shutdown. So even our young players aren't playing any games now.
Mm-hmm.
In the leagues that they're in the leagues that they're party, I mean, they're sitting there in mid-table. It's an absolute farce. It's a big one of the biggest disgraces in Scottish football that there isn't a proper reserve league anymore.
Did I not see somebody saying about they were playing Gretna the other night? Is that right? Or doing it Gretna or something, or playing a game?
I don't know.
I thought I seen there was something about they had watched the B team playing the other night there. I think it was don't quote me on this. They had Drew and it looked like that Vata and that weren't that great. Or they had watched. Maybe it might not have been last week or whatever. But he was just talking about how he had watched them in a game, and there's a reason for how these kids aren't actually champed at the first team door. It's not as if it's down to Rodgers, the fans, or any of the assistants saying that they're putting too much pressure. It's just they're nowhere near ready for it.
That's the simple fact, Jerry. They're just not good enough. They're just not up to scratch or up to that level.
Yep. We know ourselves. If a player's good enough, he's old enough, and a club would love nothing more than to promote a player from within and save a few bob, especially the way that we're run. So, it's unfortunate, but we'll wait and see what happens. But I'm looking forward to seeing this boy myself. There was one of the boys in the chat. Where was it? I think it was Doc's one of his first projects of players who don't play. The phrases are myth and garbage. Jota, Riley, Hatate, Bernardo, Scales were all projects. Totally agree, Doc. I think you're spot on there, mate. Every signing we can make, or not every signing, but a lot of the signings recently, we put down as projects, but a lot of that shite. See, likes a home, the bit of first team games he had, and all the rest, I wouldn't have put him down as a project. It's a couple of other ones I would have. But
see, if you think about it, put the shoe in the other foot. If somebody's turning around and saying, what if Celtic's part of this young players project? How would fans feel about that? Do you know what I mean? Is that young players can come in there, see all this like, it's just a stepping stone to bigger things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what they're saying is that Celtic's part of this young players project. Does he want to put the shoe in the other foot?
Aye.
He's coming here to better himself, become a better player, and then move on to wherever it is, more money, a better league, whatever way you want to see it.
Mm-hmm. Aye, that's a good way to look at it, Mark. Good way to look at it. But see, if I would have absolutely no qualms. Let's see if a guy comes in, learns his. Look at Van Dijk. He was in the polished article when he was here. I'm not saying that we're making him either, but I've got no objections to us signing some youngster, giving him 2 or 3 years first team football, European football, playing under a bit of pressure, and then him going on, using as a stepping stone. If he gets us, wins us cups, does as well in Europe, and earns a few quid, so be it. Because that's the kind of model that we need to aim for with the way these European systems are set up, or leagues are set up, with the money that we've got. It's harder and harder to compete. So
and it's not even. And the thing about that, see, if we were, I don't think anybody is. I mean, we would all love to keep Matt O'Reilly for the next 10 years. Do you know what I mean? But we know that's not going to happen. But I think that again, it goes back to the European thing. It's that nobody's got any problem with Celtic's player. Do you get what I mean? It's just see if we could a better kind of success in Europe. Mm-hmm. I think the fans would be more acceptable to just bringing in these younger players to develop and stuff like that, and move on.
Aye. I definitely. I mean, it does work for other teams. So, but even though, I mean, Matt O'Reilly, we'll go back to him. We would all love for him to stay, as you've said, but realistically, we're all Celtic fans and we think that Celtic's the be all and end all. He's come up here to get first team games, play for a massive club, get some experience, and he's going to get down the road. He'll be off, hopefully not this season, or the end of this season, but he'll go on to what he deems bigger and better things, more money and all the rest of it. So if we to bring through or sign young boys like Matt O'Reilly every couple of seasons to bring them through, develop them, get big bucks for them, then so be it. But
Matt O'Reilly was wrote off for a lot of fans as well when he signed him. Playing with MK Dons with £1.5 million. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
But again, as I said with this Kuhn guy, or Kuhn, whatever it is, it's like these kind of data-driven transfers. Do you know what I mean? This is this kind of deep dive. I mean, Matt O'Reilly's stats they were tappy all the scouting charts. He was on Liverpool's radar and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But again, if he went to Liverpool, he wasn't going to be playing every week with Liverpool.
Yep.
And that was one of the reasons it was he left. Was it Fulham he was with and he left him?
Mm-hmm.
He left him and I think he took about 4 or 5 months out of the game and then he turned up at MK Dons. But was even there 18 months? Was he even there 18 months?
No, I don't think he was. Aye. That's the thing. So, but I know I've been guilty of myself.
They're nightmares saying data-driven transfers are the best way to get ahead of the curve. Look at Brentford. Look at Brentford down in England. Brighton, aye.
Aye.
I mean, I was reading earlier on that Irish guy that's at Brighton now, Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
See Chelsea, is it Evan? Is it? Aye. I see Chelsea are ready to bid Chelsea are ready to bid £100 million for him.
They're
but how could we not get him?
See the
but how did we not get him when he was 14, 15? You know what I mean? How did Celtic know a wee Irish player at that kind of?
You don't know, man. Players develop at different rates and it's hard. There's no guarantee a kid at 15 is going to do anything when they're 18 or 21. So it's hard. It's a hard one. These things can happen, but they need the right environment. No, we've seen it before. Some players just don't fit right in it. Some clubs, it's no for them. But listen, I've been guilty of it all. But looking, some of the signings we've made, like fuck, look, we're signing him for whatever. Look, Maravchuk, 33, 300,000. Think, what is this? Other players, you've looked at the price before you've actually looked at the player. So
Henrik.
Aye, exactly.
Even Larson 600. I know it was meant that was kind of, but that went to court and stuff like that. Didn't it? Because Feyenoord wanted 2 million, but Larson said there was a thing in his contract that it could go for 650,000.
Mm-hmm. I think some Celtic fans are obsessed with selling fees. I just want a winning team on the park. Couldn't agree more with you, mate. I think that's one thing we all want. But getting back to the prices, see the stats. I read that the boy McAllister ended up at Chelsea, won the World Cup there. I think that's was it Brighton. That's how they sign all their players. It's all this stat related stuff, and that's the only reason they went out and shelled out the money for him and brought him across, is because of the stats. His stats were unreal. So I find it hard. I mean, I've spoke to a million times, mate.
There's a new one coming in. I'm sure I think it's at Brighton, for Brazil. Is it Brazil or Argentina? His name's Kevin.
Aye.
That's his. I mean, it was Ronaldinho, Zico. You've got like McAllister, Kevin.
Aye, it's
you know what I mean?
Aye, maybe Argentina. He'll be related to the soldiers for the Falklands. He'll be right age. What about the thing is, but I don't know how the stats and that stuff work. It's new. It's technology's all double to me. So. But you look at, I couldn't believe it when you tell us Davy Weir was it the main man down at Brighton.
But I mean, again, he will be surrounded with the guys that all know this stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, definitely.
He's just arranging it all, and then he'll be the kind of link between the manager and who the scouts and that, and then who they're going to sign. But he's well up there.
And as I say that, the Kuhn boy, I think, as you say, his stats are fantastic. So if we can get him playing to what his stats are, then and out this world, it'll be a win-win for us all. But I just don't. I don't know how all this stat stuff works and how they break it down. And
just nightmares there. See that thing that you're talking about there, nightmare? I watched a video of him on YouTube the other day, and it wasn't I actually read it. I realised he was actually a left back. What a player that guy! I can't even. That's not that Kevin guy, is it? I can't mean, but whoever it is, Brighton are signing for Boca Juniors, man. What a player this is for a left back. It's not even that dear, because I thought Celtic could have pushed the boat a bit and maybe got him.
Aye. I mean, it's. I remember. Was it a good few seasons ago now? It was Brentford. They were using the stats, and was that the bread man had something to do with him putting all his players were. That's the only way he judged the player was via the stats. Not that it worked too well for him, but I'm sure he had something to do with the way Brentford set up.
Aye, that was one of the reasons he left as well, wasn't it?
Aye, yep. So if that's the way clubs are, but it's no denying it's the money that.
And that mob thought that he could bring all that into them kind of thing. I mean, that's what they do all the time. They just try to copy what other people do. They even try to copy what we do. But they've not got the money to invest. They've not got the money to invest in the scouting and stuff like that Celtic has. Do you know what I mean? And that's why it doesn't. That's why it doesn't work for them.
Aye, that's what I was going to say. Celtic have been. Brighton must have threw a right few quid at it, but you think some of the transfer fees they've had in, it's frightening. And the transfer fees they've all got in. I mean, that boy Ferguson, if they get anywhere near 100 million for him, I mean, that's some bit of business right there. They've had that boy's went to Chelsea. He looked phenomenal at Brighton. Was it Caicedo? He went to Chelsea, man. He looks a shadow of the player. Then McAllister as well. And I'm sure there's got a few others. So, they've done not too bad. Somebody says something how we get Bernabei. When we're looking at the left backs, we ended up with Bernabei instead of that boy for Argentina and Brazil.
That's been a weird one, isn't it, Bernabei?
See, the thing is, the other thing is, like, these stats, I don't know how they'll be in depth, but it comes down to a player's attitude as well. And I don't know you don't know what training-wise and attitude-wise what that Bernabei's like. I mean, I know he's been done for drink time and a stupid young boy, but I don't know if he's that great a trainer while he's there.
I've said it before, I'm a bit old-fashioned about it. But see, when a young player that's done hee-haw in the game, swaggers in, covering tattoo with a daft haircut and the big daft beard, he's like that Pogba in that.
Aye.
When he first, I'm talking about years ago, when Pogba first broke in, I'd be wary of that. It's like Roy Keane tells a story about he was going to sign Robbie Savage.
Who was going to sign Savage?
Roy Keane. I think when he was maybe at Sunderland or something.
Oh,
he his phone number off him. His phone number off somebody. So he's phoned up Robbie Savage, and Robbie Savage picked up the phone and done that. What's that? That daft thing that used to be an advert or something, right? And Roy Keane was just like, oh, fuck that, and put the phone down.
Aye, quite right, man. Quite right.
I mean, that Robbie Savage, when he was at Man United, he was on the boot. He had the Armani sign tattooed in his chest or his arm or something like that.
He's a thrash piece.
As soon as I saw that Bernabei, that's the kind of thing I thought, you need to, but maybe too big for your boots kind of idea.
Aye. I mean, for what I've heard, he was his homeland. He was rated kind of decent. They all thought he was going to be a decent player, but he's come over here and he's done that. I mean, he set up Jackie Marcus for that winner. It was some ball, but it's been he's done next to nothing. He's a waste of wage. But
wasn't that long ago? It was me and Mikey were talking about him, and Mikey said to us that he was getting he was getting watched by the Argentinian national team in that.
But before he came to us?
No, while he was kind of at us, he was talking, no, getting into the squad and stuff like that, aye. So he must be right out in Argentina.
Oh, not a chance, man. There's no. What game did they come over here to watch? Because I can barely remember them playing two consecutive games.
I know, I couldn't believe it, but you know what Mikey's like? Mikey's a tappy boy, that kind of stuff.
They must have wasted a few trips over here thinking he was going to be playing.
On the fringes of the Argentinian squad.
No, I'm not disagreeing or doubting Mikey.
Again, we don't know who's in front of him or anything like that either. Maybe I've been for a friendly the one, maybe think of calling him up, but it's definitely not worked out for the lad.
We've not done too well in the South Americans.
Montgomery's been recalled as well.
He's been recalled?
Aye, Adam Montgomery, he get recalled today, sir.
Aye.
I don't know whether I don't know how Fleetwood or just garbage or whatever, but I wouldn't be surprised. People looking for a left back, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Greg Taylor and Adam Montgomery, at least for now to the end of the season.
Nah. I think we'll sign that. Is it Arugio?
You think so?
I think there's too many sign. I think there's too many murmurings for it not to. Well, you never know. It's just clickbait shite or just nobody. The football rubbing on, so we'll just make up stuff. But I think there's been too many murmurings for it not to happen. I think we need to sign. I thought we'd have a couple in before now, to be honest. But I think if we get another left back in to compete, I wouldn't. What I've seen of that boy Montgomery, I actually thought he was not too bad. So I think the loan would have. I don't know. Has he been playing every week or what?
I thought he'd been playing for Fleetwood.
Well, if he's been playing, I don't know. The only reason they're going to recall him is if they're going to have a wee look at him and see how they go on. Or is he going to actually be maybe? Is he going to be part of a deal somewhere else? Or do you know what I mean? That's exactly it. So I will need to wait and see. Take it. I mean, we're resuming training.
He's been out injured and stuff like that down at Fleetwood.
Is he?
Aye. So that's not a good sign either, is it?
Nah. So there's Bobby saying he's extremely lightweight.
Oh, that's definitely not what we want.
Nah.
Even in Cell 88, thanks for coming in, bud.
Saying he's too soft. So, I mean, what age is the boy Montgomery?
Oh, he's only young.
Aye.
20, maybe 20, 21.
Aye, Mappy saying Montgomery was injured most of the time. Well, maybe they've punted him up the road. Maybe they've said to Celtic, it's no working out. Well, we need to wait and see. He's only 19, so I say we'll need to.
I thought he was a bit older than that. Evening, Mark. Thanks for coming in again, mate.
We need to wait and see, but I wouldn't be ideal if that was his Brendan Rodgers thinking. We'll recall him and have an understudy Taylor. But I would it'd be ideal if we could promote somebody from within. But I don't see much of the youth games anymore. And for the people that do go, I don't think there's any there that's going to be pushing it first team door anytime soon.
But just what we said earlier on, Jerry, even if a young player's running riot down at that level, it's like it's playing. You're playing amateur players. You're playing part-time guys. You're guys that are out working. Do you know what I mean? Working a shift all week and then playing on a Saturday and stuff like that. The young players aren't going to progress to playing that.
Aye, the reserves, you're meaning? Aye, this B team stuff.
Aye.
I thought talking to Fleetwood. I've got to say that.
No, when you said that, like the youth players, we'd all like to see youth players in that breaking through. But
it's a shambles. It's that and between that and the women's league, it's women's team and all that shit. It's just a waste of money for me. And it's I just can't understand how the teams like Celtic, Rangers, and all that just kind of get together and get some proper reserve league established.
They're in a reserve league, they know.
They're in some Rangers, sort of thing, because I know they pulled out of that.
But there was I thought it was at this beginning of this season, or was it even the beginning of last season, it was they were trying to bring this reserve league kind back. I'm sure Rangers and Hearts and that are in this other one. And I just says, why not just get together? What?
I'm sure us and them pulled out of something. Put the blockers on something. Did we know? The reserve league.
I can't. They're Rangers, they're Martin saying it. There's something about it, and he just says, but I don't know what. This is down to one of these things that kind of. It's as if Celtic say black, Rangers say white. If Celtic say no, Rangers say aye. So it's got to see when it comes to stuff like youth development and stuff like that. Everybody in Scottish football has got to be on the same page about it.
Yep, definitely.
You know what I mean? And that's got to, for me, that's got to be getting young players between the ages of 18 and 21, getting them into some kind of level of competitive league that they're playing against. Good players at their own levels. And as we spoke about with all players, the old reserve league, when it was players coming back for injury or maybe missed a couple and just needing a wee kind of, do you know what I mean? A couple of first team players are in the reserve team.
Yep.
The way it used to be, I don't know why they stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
finances. I'm
sure JFP said he's went to a couple of the B team games, and somebody said they watched them earlier, watched them last season.
Aye. A few people said I wouldn't
go and watch that.
No.
Would you go and watch it? But I'd go and watch. That's what I was going to say. I would go and watch it if it was a reserve league. You're seeing players that there's a chance you're going to see them in the Celtic first team. And there's a chance even seeing these wee daft games. There's a chance you can bump into a first team player that's there watching it. You can bump into Brendan. Do you know what I mean?
What like the numbers that used to be their old reserve games? Were they good crowds or what? All right.
It was a decent enough crowd for reserve games.
Aye.
I mean, it wasn't. It's never mobbed or anything like that. I mean, I can remember. I mean, this is obviously 2012, but an Old Firm reserve game, and it was a sellout.
Aye.
Okay. Because what was that, Cozy? There was a reason for that, and everybody went to the reserve game that weekend. I can remember that, but there's more people. I think it's like. See, like guys like us, even it would be like, see if we go to watch a Celtic game, it's a full day for. Do you know what I mean? You know, with Welsh and Jabber and that. But see, if they're a reserve game, like Celtic's playing Accies, but it's a reserve game down at Accies Park. I'd just like, I'll meet you and Jabber down there. Do you know what I mean? We'll just charge in, watch that, and then get home. No hassles.
Aye. No, I would bowl for it, and I don't understand how for a good of Scottish football it's no happening. Because we need the youths and that playing at the highest level possible against. I mean, you used to say that, man. I used to make the kids back in the day that go out and play against hairy arse men that they're 1-1 and all the rest of it. But as you say, folk that are maybe going out to pull a shift before they go out and play the game, it's no ideal. However, it's up to them to get their. It's a Scottish football as well. I mean, we've said this before. They've not got proper footballing people in the right places. I mean, look at the wealth of former managers and players that we've got that have played the game at a high level and been involved in coaching at a high level, and we still can't get things moving in the right direction. So it's a sad state of affairs, but we'll see what happens, mate.
See that? But Martin's saying there's a 12. Is that Palmerston Town or Palmerston United or something like that, Martin? That is hilarious on Twitter.
I'm not got Twitter or that, man. I'm too old-fashioned for that. What is it? I didn't even know they were an Irish club. It's a Palmerston Town or something they're called, Jabba, and they're only 12-year-old. And I didn't actually know they were a real team. Aye.
And they troll them all the time. We're going to have a 12-year anniversary game. We're going to, do you know what I mean? Part like that to them.
Yep.
Stuff, all this, and they tried to sign this player, but he went with him because it just, it's funny. It's really top class trolling they're doing for it.
Good on them. Long may it continue, mate. What about did you watch that area of the games the other night, man? I ended up flicking through watching some of that dross that was on the TV. See down south.
Did I just call you Jabber there?
It happens, mate.
I do it all the time with everybody. I call everybody with the wrong names all the time.
It's all right, mate. It's we're about the same size and for the same area, so you can get away with it that way. Did you watch that? Watch any of the English games or any of that football during the week?
Not much. Just highlights in that.
No, I was flicking through it, man. So I was bored stuff, man. I keep clicking and all the stuff, waiting to see something Celtic related, and it's been chronic. With anything happening. Who do you think will go for against this Bucky Thistle mob? I was looking at tickets. It looks as if there's going to be a decent crowd.
I'd like to think so.
Aye. Do you think we'll be letting them wear the green and white?
No, sure. Huh? Somebody said they weren't allowed to. I'm sure it was maybe even Bobby put out in the Discord that they'd said they weren't allowed to wear the hoops.
Aye. Fair dues.
See with that, why don't Celtic just let them wear
a once in a lifetime for the minute. They're taking some amount of tickets, 5,000 tickets.
Aye, quite right.
Aye, good on. That's a day out for all the
minute. Full town.
Aye. I didn't.
We all know where all the housebreakers will be that Saturday.
Aye. But it's fair play to them. And as I say, I kept one of my middle boys been asking me to take him to a game, so I kept promising myself, forgot the tickets went in general sale. Somebody put it on the chat, and I logged in to try and get two together, and it's quite difficult. So I know that there's a lot of them in a home cup ticket scheme. They'll just come off and be deducted straight away. But here's hoping we get a good crowd for it. See what happens, and go with a full strength team and hammer them. Feel good about ourselves.
No, I wouldn't like them to say that.
Nah, they'll not do that. They'll I think it'll be our first game back, right enough, will it no?
Aye. But you'll maybe be a strong team in the first half, and then. Aye. But I would still like to think, obviously, fingers crossed, you know what I mean? I can mind Aki's beating Rangers. That was one of my best ever non-Celtic days in my life. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. Yep. Any victory of them, brilliant. But I was hoping we're going to this game. You're getting to see 2 or 3 signings up close. But if this
new boy comes in, that's an ideal game to get him on the park.
Aye. Yep, definitely. Abada as well. I want to try and get him more games.
Keep Kyogo in the bench. Well, maybe if hopefully there's another striker in, but there's no reason to start Kyogo in this game.
No. Calmack, you know. There's some of the boys that have been playing umpteen games. But the longer it goes on, the less likely I think it is we're going to sign Shank Hill.
Nah, can't see it. I've seen on Twitter just before we came on, some places Rangers have turned their attention to them now that Batshuayi turned them down. That was never happening in a million years. Never.
Aye. It's just paper talk. It was the same as the shit.
That's the kind of stuff we hoopy fun at the Burger Bar and that on the forum, isn't it?
Aye, okay. Some of them are brilliant. Aye. I mean, somebody was bound to get it right about Robbie Keane. I mean, you go out of the transfer one day, somebody seen him or Shay Given at the burger van somewhere. So it was about to happen. Eventually, Robbie Keane came, so it wasn't too bad. But no, it's that Batshuayi. See the wages they pay in Turkey. It's frightening. It's frightening. There's no chance they were going to afford anything like that. What about the Josh Doig one?
Weird, but good players go to Turkey. See the goalkeeper at Livakovic.
Aye.
Right, he's only been in Turkey 6 months, but I bet you he moves either this summer coming or next summer.
You're right.
These players go. Aye, these players. But you think back to these players that go to Turkey. Do any of them actually hang about?
Mm-hmm.
Then they know they go there. They go there for a couple of years and then they just move again. I don't whether it is the wages that they throw at them or whatever, but it really is. It's a weird thing for me that guys that do. I mean, they're Kent. Ryan Kent went to Fenerbahce. He went to Galatasaray.
Class. I think it was Fenerbahce. I don't know. He's a rocket.
He's getting blue. But any of these players that seem to leave Britain to go to Turkey, or even I'm talking about Livakovic, but you know what I mean. Just players in general, they seem to go to Turkey, and unless they're a right top player, they just kind of want to like a kind of vacuum, and then they stay there for 18 months or 2 years, then they move on back to where they fare further. It's a weird place, that.
Aye. I know the wages they pay is frightening. And I can't understand. I mean, he's a right good keeper, that like Livakovic. So, I mean, what kind of money would they want for him? Do you know what I mean, they'll still be wanting a right few quid for him. I thought Jota would have been at Tottenham by now.
No.
If he was ever going to go.
It's a bit weird that it's still there stuck over in Saudi, right enough, isn't it?
Especially the window opening. That's nearly 2 weeks in.
Aye.
So I thought there would have been a wee bit more comings and goings, but it's been quiet all over the place. It's no as if there's been a lot been happening. But I think we're more chance of going for the boy for Aberdeen, that Majowski, now. The longer this is going on, than going for Shank Hill.
I never actually thought that Shank Hill would come to us.
No.
But nothing even a day. I mean, it was like JFP said, you've got to ask the question. But I just think that unless he pushed for the move, Hearts, as I've said before, all clubs need today is drag their heels for 30 days. That's what I mean about it. It's hard to get these kind of deals done in this January window. No, I mean, see if it's a summer and Celtic decided they wanted to sign a guy like Shankill.
Yep, I've got this full summer to unsettle him.
Before people going about with pronouncing his name wrong, it's a bit of an in-joke on the podcast that we call him Shankill. But it's like, see, during the summer, you get months to get his agent to write and offers and counter offers and all that stuff. But in this month, all Hearts need to do is drag their heels for 30 days and it can't happen.
It's the summer, you've got time to replace players as well. A month with transfers isn't ideal. Try and if you lose one of your players a couple of weeks in, they're
San Fran. I just saw that there. That's Jota the Ajax apparently.
Jota Ajax, aye, fair play to you. But I think it'll be a decent club to go to.
That would be a good club for him to go to.
Aye.
He's somebody like even I don't know, maybe somebody like Dortmund or something like that.
Well, look at that clown they've signed, that Sancho. I mean, it's he looked brilliant when he was there with Haaland, and then he's come over here. But it doesn't say much. I mean, that Anthony that Marshall signed, Man U signed for 80-odd million. He's brutal.
Honky.
Brutal. Oh, it just shows you just spending all the big bucks doesn't guarantee you a good player. So that's how when we're looking at 2.5, 3 million for this boy Kuhn, we're mumping more. Somebody's will be mumping more in it, doesn't he? Just because he's that price doesn't mean he's going to be rotten. So we'll just need to wait and see what's happening. Shankly isn't going cheap at all. He's worth 6 million to Hearts in third place. Half that now. Everyone is missing one. Nah. Do you think we'll go for the Aberdeen boy?
I think there's maybe a chance it being him, then it's going to be that boy. Yep. Is it Brøndby? I wouldn't get near that. I wouldn't get near that deal. Even in West Scotland, thanks very much for coming in, bud. Nice to see you, mate.
Stats, that boy for Brøndby's stats they're not the greatest. The amount of games he's played and the assists and goal return. So if you want to look at it that way, man, his stats are the
don't like Rasmussen. It's that kind of signing, a kind of Rasmussen.
That's it. So no, he's a midget as well. It's no. I think we're needing somebody a bit more physical. I think it was 5'8" or something, that boy.
Aye.
I know we need somebody with a wee bit more.
And we've got that wee nippy striker in Kyogo. We don't need another wee kind of, if that's what he is, a wee kind of nippy striker, because it doesn't look a big kind of what I think we need, which is a big dominant striker.
Mm-hmm. Aye. No, I'm happy I've seen that way Ajax. I mean, they were bought with their league for long and weary, but they've fair rocketed up. They can't get the Champions League or that next year, but they've went right through they've went right up the league. I think they're maybe about 5th or something now, but there's no chance of winning or getting into the Champions League places. Calvin Bassey, he was another one. He was honking as well.
Oh, yeah, imagine what the grief the Ajax boys that picked him got.
Oh, frightening. Right, win it 20 million for that. He'll have got his Jotters. He'll get his jotters.
Imagine Baby Lil pull out something like that. We're signing a guy. Well, we're signing this guy. £15 million, and he turned into an absolute complete donkey, man.
Aye,
They'd be burning down Select Park.
Mate,
Even Raphael, Van der Vaart and everything were on the telly slagging him to death.
Where did he come from? I've seen that. Mate, there's no guarantee with trying. We know that, mate. Just because you spend a fortune on a player doesn't guarantee it's going to be worth it.
It's weird that for Ajax to gamble, do you know what I mean? That's a hell of a lot of money for Ajax to spend.
No, I know.
Just say that if they bought him for 5 or 6 million, they'd have saying that, like Van der Vaart, no, he's terrible, not right. He'd have get bombed out and that would have been that. Nobody will bat an eyelid. Whoever gave that a sanction, that'll stick with him for years in like Dutch football and that. Do you know what I mean? He'll always be the guy who ever sanctioned that deal. He'll always be the guy that sanctioned that.
Is that the flip side to that? And all see the ones that have come out for Ajax saying about the man's going to get 80 million or 85 million for that Anthony that were slating him. Some of that was it Overmars and all that were saying that he was rotten, and there was 3 or 4 better players in the Dutch league ahead of him. That was it. The boy who went to Liverpool, that Gakpo.
Aye.
There was a few others, and they were saying they were all far superior. Yet Man U went and shelled 85 million on him. But any time I've watched him, I think, thank God he's on my team, in my squad.
Aye. I mean, we spoke about it, Man United. I don't pay much attention to them as I did over the years, kind of thing. But they were like my kind of English team for years. But they're a complete basket case of a club, don't you?
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
Again,
and the sad thing about it is they're still one of the richest clubs in the world. They're still one of the biggest, probably top 3 supported clubs in the world. They're
unreal.
There's absolutely no need whatsoever for Man United to be in the position they're in, apart from just being run.
That's what I was going to say. And you know what? It
all goes back to a daft horse.
Aye, well, that as well. Aye, you're a daft horse, and then not having the right people in the right positions. So,
aye, but the horse racing thing when Ferguson fell out with
Magna and that.
Aye. That was the start of it. So, and then they sold the club to the Glaziers, and it was all just debt. I mean, that's just basically Glaziers is just like us buying a motor on pick. You know what I mean? On hire purchase. That's how they bought Man United. And you buying a motor on hire purchase and then using it as a taxi to pay for the motor. That's basically what they've done.
Aye.
But I mean, the money they've threw about is astronomical.
Aye.
And to be where they are. I mean, even they've had good managers that they didn't back. They've had good managers that they backed their own way and stuff, and just nothing's ever. I can't see how Man United will ever come back for this.
Oof. No,
unless there is. I mean, I can't mind the guy's name that was meant to be looking at buying them. Was he somebody to do with Apple? I don't know.
That Sheik guy was in for a man. I think he would maybe have a couple of quid kicking about that he'd be able to plough into them.
But that's been going on for about a year and on, isn't it? Will we sell this Shane? They wanted to sell. There was one of the deals was that this guy will buy the club but keep the Glazers on the board. What's the point in doing that?
Exactly. No, that's it. I think that's his way of getting his foot in the door. I mean, he's taking control of the football department at least. So
Jim something, these guys. Jim something. That's it. Ratcliffe. Aye.
And for Chelsea as well.
Aye. So it's a weird thing, that it really is.
Aye. It makes sure.
And then you sit there and you look at Brighton. The teams I spoke about how well they've been running a shoestring budget and holding their own in that Premier League and stuff like that. And Man United throw money, but it's just throwing good money after bad.
See, some of the football that Brighton were playing. I've not seen much of this. See last season, some of the football they were playing. It was second to none. It was outstanding. It was brilliant. But with some of the players that had and they've settled on, one of them were able to stay in that league. But if it's able to continue for the next couple of years. But last season, their football was fantastic. I was laughing at Martin. Does your board now look better in that light when you look at Man U? think aye, well,
when you look at things like that, definitely.
aye.
I mean, I would
Transfers
take for Celtic to kind of fall into a kind of Saudi conglomerate, part of the City Group job kind of thing.
Aye, no, I knew that. I wouldn't be my ideal situation. You would love all the money and all that they're going to spend. But see, the thing is, see if any of these guys get ticked off or bored or whatever, and you've got a team saddled with all these players earning fortunes that they can't pay. There's only one way it's going to end. It's in tears. So I don't think it's not the route I would like you doing. We've said it before in the pod, mate. The German route would be ideal with the fan ownership and all the rest of it. I think that's the way forward. But I think
so you see people on the forum going about Dermot Desmond's never put a penny into Celtic and stuff like that, apart from buying these shares. I've not got a problem with that. I don't want us to be relying on Dermot Desmond for money.
See, I've mumped and moaned about it early years now, mate. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and sit here and say, how I used to say, how can we have two billionaires, kind of, no investors, but two people with shares with billionaires, and they can't even throw a couple of quid.
But I put that down maybe your age at the time, Jerry.
Aye, no, that's probably.
I was the same. Do you know what I mean? When I was younger and that, when Fergus McCann took her, I thought Fergus got a great. He's made millions for these golf tours and stuff. I thought this guy's going to pump hunters. You know, that's what I thought. But you learn, and then, I mean, it's like Man City, right? They've held up with all this sheikh's money and stuff like that. But Celtic don't need to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting with £70 million in the bank.
Yep.
Right, obviously, there's no, because there'll be money coming out of that. But just for what we know, the accounts and that, £72 million in the bank. And then we get into this Champions League next year. And so they're another £60 million guaranteed. So you're talking about £130 million in the bank, plus the money we'll spend. But so Celtic are generating the money. We don't need to rely on directors' loans and putting money into the club, because you've got to mind, look at the state of what they're like across the road, because they need directors' loans and this confetti shares and all that stuff. UEFA don't look wisely on this kind of thing anymore, especially under the new regulations. So if we just use our own money, we should never need to ask a director for any kind of money to help us get by.
Right. Well, that's the thing. See, now it's harder to rely on the likes of, for talk's sake, Desmond, decide that I'd maybe want to spend a few of my quid on sale. It's harder to get it into the football team now than it would have been with these financial fair play regulations before. I mean, I think Man City and that were guilty at other teams as well. Would I see likes sponsorship deals? Say for talk's sake, Desmond had one of his company wanted to kid on them a sponsor, sell it for, say for talk's sake, 40, 50, 60 million for whatever inflated prices. They could have put it in that way. But it's a lot tighter and a lot harder now to get that done and to justify it. But no, we're better being self-sustaining. But it would always be nice if you get a wee lottery win now and then to add to it.
But no after Dermot Desmond, really. I mean, let's face it, the guy is only the majority shareholder. See, if Dermot Desmond done something crazy, and everybody turned their back on him, he could get voted. He could have no power at Celtic. He's not the be all and end all. Do you know what I mean? And as I've said, we look at them across the road. I mean, they've come out the other meeting and said they've got a £10 million hole every single season that they need to get rid of that. Getting them in 2012, even before that, when you see the statement, but for there and then on, it was like, guys, giving them a lot of money and saying, right, their money, and then 6 months later, a year later, you get shares for it, which devalues the actual value of the club and everybody else's shares. That's how that club 1870, whatever it is, that's how they fell in. Their shareholding started at something like 6%, and now it's worth only about 2%. And that fans pumping money in to buy shares. I mean, Martin says, Dermot Desmond is a backup, but see, if I was going to do anything about that, I would go to Dermot Desmond and say he's a long term. I mean, I've said this before about the last loan we got to help Martin O'Neill. It was a long term. It was a long term loan for the co. that's only just no long been paid off, and it was costing us actually peanuts a month to or annually, whatever way you might look at it.
Aye.
So go to Dermot Desmond as a director and as a whatever in the club and ask him for a lenny X amount to, I don't know, if you're going to do something that's going to make it, see like the hotel thing or sorting out the South Stand or something like that. Don't just ask him for a lenny 50 million, 20 million, 30 million pounds just to put into the team.
Bunking transfers, aye.
It's got to, for me, if you're going to dip into like getting money off your directors and stuff, it's got to be for something that's like a kind of longer term project that
it's going to generate
it's going to generate more money. And even that, you're like, well, if we're going to make £2 million a year after that, if we give him back £1 million every year, you still make £1 million. Rather than just what Rangers have done and just spunked on transfers and wages and get nothing at all to show for it.
Aye, no, it's a good way to look at it. But as I say, I've always thought that hotel and all that shit would be pie in the sky anyway. I mean, you think you're marginalising the amount of times it's going to be used and the amount of people that's going to use it. I don't think the hotel, they'll know better than me. I don't know if the hotel was ever
I think that thing with I think, what's the thing called across the road now?
Aye, the Emirates.
Is it still called that? I think a lot of it was maybe planned during that. But see the events like that, they were saying they were going to be holding and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It would have tied in because it's just whatever's on there at that week, at certain week or weekend, they're going to use a hotel which is just across the road. But I think because that's kind of fell away in popularity, isn't it?
Aye. I don't think it's as popular as it was getting used. There's Greg saying we need to leave Scotland as soon as possible. No happening. Not in my lifetime anyway. It's not going to happen in mine. That's for sure.
Even that's been the thing that people talks mind when the Super League popped up again the other week again.
Yep.
People were looking at it as if it was a kind of way out of Scottish football. It was just a kind of different version of the Champions League. We'd still be playing in Scotland. We wouldn't have been any different, but it comes down to UEFA competitions. That was where that would have come in.
Aye. No.
That Brian saying the hotel and upgrade at Barrowfield is definitely happening.
Oh, the upgrade at Barrowfield's long overdue. Is
that not meant to be starting in the next couple of weeks?
Aye. So this should have been done a long time ago. I hope they're building. Well, they're saying an upgrade. I don't know what it entails, but between Barrowfield and Lennoxton, we've still not got an indoor park. It's frightening. You see the end of the hard weather comes in. They're in the gym. They're not able to go out and kick a ball. Certainly not at Lennoxton.
Was Brendan Rodgers no promised a indoor pitch the last time he was here? In fact, was Ronnie Dylan promised one as well?
They looked into putting
dome thing.
One but they can't because they get these. I don't know, these boffins in to look at the wind thing. And I think because where it is situated and how high up it is, I don't think it would have been long before it was blown across the sea. Aye. No. Aye, well, there's that as well. But no, I think it's quite high up. It's elevated. So I don't know if it'd have took off. So I think that was kind of knocked in the head. But
Bobby saying that's part of that Barrowfield setup. I was going to say that. I thought that was part of this new development and stuff. But again, we'll see when it's actually built. Do you know what I mean? Greg saying no one will vote against Dermot Desmond. No, I know that, Greg. But what I was meaning was if just it could still be voted against.
Aye.
He does. I mean, he doesn't actually own. He's not got the power to actually own the club as such. Do you know what I mean? It's just him and the wee clique that have got all the shares. There's nobody else any power. But if they all fell out and all way, everybody went against Dermot Desmond, he would be outvoted. That's all I was meaning by that. But I agree with you, it's not going to happen.
What is it? There's Bobby saying that that's part of the new Barrowfield setup. See, I had thought it was just. I didn't think there was an indoor pitch going into Barrowfield. I thought it was just upgrading what was currently there. But as I say, I don't know too much about it. But I'd be hoping that they were they were going to be putting an indoor pitch, because you imagine players coming over here for other teams and other clubs coming to the facilities we've got. It's our facilities have for long and weary, even up to likes of Strankler here, have been light years behind everywhere else. All these so-called smaller countries and clubs, their training facilities and that have been far superior to what we've got. So you hear about that one about Kuhn when he came up here, talking about.
It's saying there is going to be an indoor. I'll put a wee link on the live chat there to the Celtic Wiki thing. It's explaining all that.
Well, Brian, have you seen that one? Lennoxton's getting sold.
People have been telling me that for years.
Aye. All football coaches.
See, I used to say, I don't know, right, again, you're maybe too young to remember this, right? But years ago, we got off, if we went to football on the train, we got off the train at Dolmarnock, and we used to call it was a waste gun, we called it. We used to walk up through this, and there was a bit, and it was like an old, I think it was like an old subway thing.
Yep.
And there was a big hole, across just right across the road from Celtic Park. There was like a big hole where there must have been like a tunnel, and that's where we used to sit and drink our carry out, then jump out the water and go to the game and that. And I said for years, see where that Emirates Arena and that's built. I said for years Celtic should have bought that, and that's where they should have built their training ground.
Aye.
And then see young players in that. You tell them, see when you're driving down London Road, you turn left into the training ground, and see when you become a Celtic player, you turn right and you get into the stadium. Think about, do you know what I mean? Just even that, just your training ground being right across the road for your stadium. That big, massive kind of Celtic. Look at it now, the way, as it called, the Celtic footprint. Look at that, what that would have been if we'd built like Lennoxtown training centre just across the road for the stadium.
Aye.
Evening, Kieran, thanks for coming in, bud.
Hail, mate.
Hope you're no burnt. What are you having for dinner, Kieran?
Aye, I'm starving.
This is our usual. This is one of our usual subjects for cooking.
Bit of a chef, huh? I'm a bit of a eater. Good man. I think although I think they've added a few things into Lennoxton, I think, Brian, I noticed they've got a swimming pool and all that in there up at Lennoxton, I think, now. So I don't think that was always there. And obviously their indoor pitch is away. That's the gym now. So they've spent they have spent money at it, and they've renewed all the pitches. So they have spent money, but I've been hearing that they've for years as well that they're going to sell that. Somebody was talking about they talks with a women's team to take it over. They were going to be playing their games there and training there, but I can't remember who it was, if it was at Glasgow Women's or Glasgow Ladies or whatever it was. But I don't think, do you think there'll be a need for both Barrowfield and Lennoxton?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Greg said Barrowfield's mainly for the women. Is that what that is now?
I thought they were going to try and keep the men's one bit and the women and youths elsewhere. But
I think Barrowfield will need a hell of a lot more money spent on it. I mean, I don't know what it's like. That's where we used to go and watch Celtic when we were dog in school. Do you know what I mean? Basically, it was just a bit of grass. It was roped off. That's what it was. That was the lines. It was roped off. It was a riot.
Aye, no, I've went a few years ago to watch some of the kids' teams train on the Astro, and I knew then it was a bit of a dive and needed a lot of work done to it, and I was told that that was a bit of an upgrade they had to it, but it was a massive upgrade was coming. But see when Lennoxton
if women are just going, it's going to be for women and the youth teams in that, that Lennoxtown's got far better facilities and stuff like that than Barrowfield. To get Barrowfield up to that kind of level has got to cost a hell of a lot of money.
Aye. But the see when Lennoxton was first built, I mean, I remember hearing there was only there was a couple of phases, and that was part of the first phase. And phase 2 was meant to kick off a couple of years later on. And I don't ever think, or to my knowledge, I don't know if phase 2 did kick off. There was meant to be like maybe 2, possibly 3 phases in it. But I know they bought houses round about the training ground a few years back, so that when they were going to do additional works, that nobody could object to any of the planning. Now, I think there was a couple of older houses looked over it, and they were owned, I don't know if it's foreigners or whatever. I think one of the guys passed away. Celtic ended up buying the houses. He stopped them. Now MD buying them and objecting to any of their plans or their proposals. So I don't know if they have got long-term views and usage for up there. We'll just need to wait and see. We've spent quite a fair bit of money on it to punt it. And I don't think there's got to be many house builders interested in it. They know the way things are going.
No, Peter will only sell them.
Oh, no, that's it.
That's who bought them. Peter all turned up at the houses and made them an offer they couldn't refuse.
Aye, that's it. So,
the unseen fiend in hand.
It's his fault it's a winter break as well, isn't it?
Aye. Derek Kieran, considering the Bucky Thistle game and sneaking in a wee half bottle.
Aye, on yourself, Kieran.
Don't tell people that when you've got a picture of you on the chat.
Ah, he's fine. It's the amount of them do it's unreal still, isn't it?
Aye,
but it's I'm going to go to that. That'll be the first game that I've attended because of work and everything else. But I'm going to go.
You take a wee man, will you?
Aye, I'm going to. Well, he's going to. He's maybe a wee bit. He's dad. I don't think the two are going to be able to skip through. So we'll need to. Obviously need to buy him a ticket. Aye, no, I'm definitely going to take him, mate. I've been saying for ages I'm going to take him, but I'll take him along to this and see how he gets on. Hope after 20 minutes he's no mumping and moaning for sweeties at the game to play his computer.
Because it's too cold.
Aye, the usual. But if I promise him on McDonald's, he's done. He likes he's food orientated. So maybe
blackmail them.
You'll be getting. You choose whatever you want for McDonald's, man. If you keep your mouth shut for the next hour and a half and don't mention it. So I know I'm going to take him along to that one. See who he gets on.
Greg still got your ticket.
Aye, okay, he's still got his ticket. Aye, it's sound. I'll be able to get that off him. It's sound. You're probably one of my pals. He's got two, so I'll maybe switch it with him and so I can get his two tickets and he can take mine. We'll wait and see what happens. But I say it's there wasn't when I was looking for two tickets together, there wasn't massive amounts. I like sitting in the same kind of area that I'm in. I've got a good group of boys running about me, so a good crack. So I like kind of sitting in that 407, 408.
Go on Welshie. Get you and the wee man a ticket in the standing section one week.
No, he's the type he'd go in that park, mate. He'd go in that park.
No, but it's up the back. You can't get near the park.
Aye, that's fine. As I say, he'd be off and running. He'd go into that park.
Bobby's saying a £20 million upgrade for the Barrafield redevelopment.
Aye, I knew it was running about that, mate. Aye. It's no cheap, but this is they need to do these things. They need to plough this kind of money into it because you can get 20 million now, but the long term, if it's getting used with the youths in the first team, you've got to kind of do these things because it's been alright. It's been embarrassing. You imagine some of the players over the years coming over here to get down to get trained at Barrafield. We've seen Kuhn talking about it, them car sharing. Or them getting in their training gear, jumping in the cars, going down to Barrafield, training, then jumping cars to get back.
Used to be a wee minibus. That ran for Celtic Park down to Barrafield.
Aye. Oh, I remember being a kid.
Players that couldn't drive in that. You know what I mean? And I can remember one day sitting outside Celtic Park, dog in school and that. No, in fact, I wouldn't have left school, just sitting with my pal with a care out, waiting to see what was going down. We were sitting there. And the minibus drove up, and it was Gordon Marshall driving the minibus.
Jesus.
He's driving the minibus up and down London Road for the Barrafield to Celtic Park. You're like, well, what's going on here?
Surprised never dropped the keys. No, I remember that was when I first met the maestro. Went to Celtic tour decades ago, and they were going down to Barrafield. Met McStay. They were getting ready, beginning to get trained or come out for getting changed. Met McStay and a couple got a picture taken, then went down the tour, then went down and seen him at Barrafield. That wasn't yesterday, that was many moons ago. And I think that was back then on, but my old boy used to say to me, I mean, places like Sweden and all that had their own facilities. Like, I'm talking, not even like teams half the size of Celtic.
Aye.
Had their own training facilities and all the rest of it, and how we were all light years behind. And it's only recently we're all starting to catch up. And we wonder how, like, back in the day, Scotland used to pump all these so-called wee countries. and
But
now they're all
that's
trying to catch up
that's
now.
when we should have listened to guys like Ronnie. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, totally, mate. Totally. He came over here and was trying to change the mentality, the culture, and all their ideas, and he get laughed out the door. But the guy was,
He
unfortunately,
was years in front of anything in Scottish football.
Definitely. And as I
Even
said,
down
that
to all the sports science stuff and all that. Do you know what I mean?
yep. Me and a couple of us, we went to that St Rock's game. Remember, a few months back, and John Hughes, and he was going on about how Tommy Burns, God rest him, was light years ahead of everybody else in the coaching sense, and you can see he was our biggest advocate for getting a training ground and all the rest of it. And he was going on about how he was like hands-on coaching. He was on the pitch telling them what to do, how to do it, the way he wanted them to play football, get the ball down, play football the right, correct way. So, it's a shame, but it's we should have heeded the warning. That was the training ground back then. But I say my biggest thing was I couldn't believe it. We used to train up there with an amateur team. 9 o'clock at night. Used to train up there 9 to 10:30 on a Wednesday night, and your feet, see if you never moved in the winter off the same spot. I kid you not, your feet would stick to the ground. But that was a few years ago now, and we were crying out for an indoor pitch then. So at least we're getting it now.
What, up Lennoxtown?
Aye, mate, aye. So they had a wee indoor pitch, but it was like a glorified sixes. It wasn't even, I wouldn't even say it was big enough for sevens. There's a wee indoor pitch, and they never had a full size 11s. But the Monkeys set up, they had their training ground at the time was a good training ground. I don't know what it's like now. I've not been in for a few years, but we get a wee tour around about it with the boys team. They had a decent, they had the indoor pitches and all the rest of it. That's what we should have had, especially with the weather here.
Bobby was ready. Me and Jerry's already spoke about Abada. We don't think there's any chance of him leaving, not in this window anyway. Really,
no.
I don't know. Jack can get back into that with Bobby if they want. Even in Dave Mack, we're all good here, bud. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Les Martin's
Brian.
Night, Brian. There's look at John Collins. He had it down and players hated it. I agree. Like, it's no.
That was Collins' act. That was actual Collins as a person that caused that.
Aye.
See if Collins had been a kind of more amicable. Is that the right kind of word? A kind of more approachable guy.
Arrogant.
It was just a bit like that.
But he's I think it's more down to it's a Scottish cultural thing. I mean, I think like Gwen tried it with them, tried to change things, modernise them all 8 years ago, but we've had it and all. Ronnie came over here and tried to implement all these stuff that's been happening over in his country, and because he was Norwegian, I think he was kind of laughed out the door. I think he said as much himself. He's come over there and we kind of thought, who's he to tell us about football? But the guy was trying to introduce good habits to the team, the club, and all the youths, and try to get them lead their life the correct way and train the correct way. And it wasn't. I think he's kind of been proved right in what he was trying to do. We should have done it back then when maybe in a wee bit far better off. But Rodgers came in and said that the foundations that Ronnie had laid that's what's helped him kick on and build the team that he did.
And I thought that was kind of nice of Rodgers, even when he did come out and say that about Ronnie. Do you know what I mean? Because we know what Rodgers is like. You know what I mean? It's all about him.
Yep.
So for him to come out when he did and talk about the kind, as you said, the foundations that Ronnie done, some of the stuff he'd done with the sports science department and all that. But so we know he was on the right kind of road. It was just a job. The job was just too big for him. I mean, I loved the guy. I still love Ronnie. Do you know what I mean? But
he wasn't back right, mate, and he was pissing into wind with likes. I don't think I don't know if it was a big enough name or old enough person for the likes. I see likes dealing with Commons and his clique, Mulgrew, Brown, and all the rest of it. I mean, I think when Rodgers came in, he pulled Brown aside and spoke to him. And kind of Collins was away. I think Charlie Boy, I don't know how long after Rodgers came in when he left. I think he maybe spoke to Brown and said to him he would need to toe the line or he'd be out the door. I just think some of the things, the practices was trying to put in place. I don't know if he maybe tried to change everything, the whole thing, everything in the club too soon, too quick, rather than do it gradually.
That was a big deal. Mind when he get rid of tomato ketchup.
Aye.
And I mean, I've not got any kids or that, but I know you don't even give your kids tomato ketchup now. It's been proven that it's kind of that bad for you with what's in it and stuff like that.
Christ, I've just put some on my chips now.
But you're not a professional athlete. Do you know what I mean?
But I look like one.
Aye,
look like that player.
I was going to say sumo. Sorry,
Sumo. What about a couple of them are going on about Bernardo enjoying his performances and asking if we think he can get better.
I think he can.
Aye, so do I.
I've been really impressed with him the last few weeks. I really have. I said before about him and that I hadn't seen enough of him to know if he was worth £6 million for. But I'd seen wee flashes that it could be, but I wasn't convinced. But over the last few games and that, I'm convinced that Bernardo could be a cracking player for us, and I would definitely buy him this summer.
Aye. I think so. It's only the last wee while, but we did find it strange that in the European games, he was always seeming the man to get the shout, but yet when it came to the league and all the rest of it, he wasn't getting his pick. But it's only the last few games that I've said, you've been able to identify that as a real. We all knew he had something, but it was just the last few games that you've really seen, he could be the player that Rodgers and the rest of them think he can be. So I'd be hoping, and come the summer, they maybe splash the cash on them. As we've said before, we'd like to keep that midfield. It'd be nice to try and keep our midfield going into Europe for next season.
Yeah. Greg said a serious question. PB, I think most of us did, but Greg, because he wasn't getting a sniff of the team and the wee bit parts, substitution stuff and that, and then he was getting games in Europe. And let's not be kidding. No many players covered themselves in glory in Europe this year.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But he's been playing in the last few games and that, he stood out, and it's a good headache to have when you've got Calmac, O'Reilly, Bernardo, Hatati into it, and then you've got home and that as your back, your kind of backups. It's a good position to be in. And I mean, the way Bernardo's been playing, I think Hatati will probably start against Bucky.
Aye.
No, he's away. In fact, he's away. Right.
Him and Maida.
I was going to say that would have been ideal for him.
Maida, and Yang won't be there.
Right.
So,
I was thinking just when we were talking about the Bucky Thistle game earlier on, and we were talking about the type of team to put. I thought that'd be ideal for Hatati. Do you know what I mean? Just back for injury, but obviously if he's away, then that's blew that out the window.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's a really good headache to have. In, I mean, right now, it's like Scales. It's his jersey to lose now. I'd say Bernardo. I wouldn't drop Bernardo for Hatati it's Hatati that's fit, so we'll drop Bernardo. Do you get what I mean?
No, quite right. No, definitely.
He's played well enough. Exactly. So it's up to Hatati to get his chance back in the team again.
Aye.
It's up to Hatati. It's now up to Hatati to sit on the bench and get brought on at 60 minutes and try and take that place back. And that's what keeps the kind of momentum going as well with the team when there's that kind of level of competition for places and stuff like that.
Yep, definitely. Could you ever imagine a midfield, Bernardo, Hatati and O'Reilly?
I know.
Could you imagine that? See, before the Rangers game there, we've heard it repeated, folk wanting Calmac drafted. He's still always going to be one of the first teams in my team sheet. But do you think that midfield could work? Hatati,
definitely.
O'Reilly, Bernardo.
Definitely. And as I keep saying as well, I know he's the captain, captains, I'm playing when I'm fit. But he's what age is McGregor now? 30. He doesn't need, see, come this Bucky Thistle game, he doesn't need to play that game.
Totally agree, mate. Totally agree.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't even need to be on the bench or, as a sub. Right, have him on the bench or whatever, because he's a captain, just being a part of the squad. But there's no way that we need Cal McGregor to put another 90 minutes or even 60 minutes or whatever into a game against a team at the level of Bucky Thistle.
Yep.
And you're just piling more. Do you know what I mean? We've spoken about it for years. The amount of games he's played. Some seasons he's played more games than anybody else in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, aye, definitely.
And again, coming into this, he's getting a bit older and stuff like that now. There is no need whatsoever for Cal McGregor to start that game against Bucky Thistle.
No. The other one, that's us into the January, the window. Would you even give Turnbull a sniff at any squad?
No.
No, I'm the same. I'm
actually hoping he's away this window.
It would make sense, mate. Would it make sense? See, we get anything for him at all? We're losing him for nada. So, but
that's the thing about it. Even we could look. We're going to lose him this summer for nothing.
Exactly.
So, see, even if we just let him go the new for nothing, what's the difference?
Mm-hmm. Aye. If you've got everybody fit.
It's another number out the squad that Brendan Rodgers didn't have to kind of win a place for.
Aye.
I mean, sometimes when he played for, I can't understand why he's been playing for us.
Mm-hmm.
Why Rodgers is kind of stuck by him so well when it's been obvious that he's not going to sign a new deal.
No. See, the minute they get this last year and they've no sign, it's near Christmas, there's no chance I'd have them in the squad because their mind's elsewhere and they're not wanting to get injured. It's just human nature. I don't care how professional they say they'll try and be or they want to be and they want to do this and want to do that. They know if they get injured, they're a bit of bother with getting a new club. So it wouldn't have been any mass future squads, that's for sure.
It's home was, but he was ill, wasn't he? He had a bug or something. He was ill, wasn't it? They said he was. But if he's back to any kind of fitness, he should be taking Turnbull's place in the squad.
Aye, I mean that Bucky Thistle's a game for him.
Aye.
What about Awata? What's happening with him?
I've not heard anything about that.
Nah, it's been radio silence with him.
Aye.
But
again, that Bucky Thistle game.
Yep.
What about a midfield three, say, if Awata's fit, Awata, Home and Bernardo? I mean, it's Bucky Thistle.
Aye.
You get what I mean?
No, definitely, mate. Aye, we'll have to see them.
Up front.
I'll put £1 million on it. He's not up front.
How no?
He's not here. He's not.
See, I don't know.
He's away, isn't he?
Oh, this Asian Cup's doing my boxing, man. See, because I don't burn my backside about
I am the same.
International football, man.
He's off. Him, Yang, Maida, and Hatati, innit? That are away.
And that Tilio, he's away, isn't he?
He's not a sniff, isn't he? No, he's not a sniff.
But again, but this is a game. See, this Bucky Thistle game. This is the kind of game that you want to. He's played these guys that are on the fringes and.
Aye, Mitchell Frame, Kieran shouting it. Should we not be playing some? Aye, you would give them a couple of them a game to see what they're made of, see what they can do. I'd be sound with that. Aye, you're not wanting like say McGregor. You can say you're not wanting him in he shouldn't have been needed in the squad at all. Give him that extra rest and a couple of them else. Taylor, maybe we've not even got a left back, but have we?
Well, we've heard a belter there. Greg said how much we'll get for CCV. Kieran says 4 or 5 million.
You think so? How much do you think we'd be looking for him?
For Carter Vickers?
Aye.
I'd probably be looking maybe. Bobby said 8 to 10. I'd have said 10 to 12 maybe.
Aye.
I've said it before. I like Carter Vickers, but I'm not the greatest fan of him. I don't think I don't know how he's he's not that big dominant centre half that we need. See when Celtic's got the ball and pressing, he glides about the pitch like Maldini. Do you know what I mean? He's comfortable on the ball. He's quick, but see when it comes to the big defence, I mean, he's been my quote unquote star defender for the last couple of seasons. Meant to be, he's our top man.
Yep.
So he's got to take some of the responsibility for how shite we're at defending set pieces.
Mm-hmm.
You never see him arranging. You never see him organising and pointing and you know what I mean, shouting. And I like that. Right? I know they're going about all the zonal marking and stuff like that. But see, if you're your big main man centre back, see, no matter where that ball goes in that box at set pieces and stuff like that, you're attacking that. You're going straight for that.
Definitely, that's the way I like my centre halves and all.
And Carter Vickers isn't that type of player.
He's low. I think he's a lot weirder than we actually think, isn't he?
He's only 5 foot, maybe 8 or something like that. I'm sure 5'10" at the most.
He's a lot. It's because he's kind of broad and built. You think, but don't mind that. Last season, I thought he was first class, and I thought we could have maybe get 10 to 12. But I think he's this season with the injuries, maybe it's going to take him a wee bit of speed to get up to the game.
But a problem.
I like. I don't. You always need, or I always want my defenders, especially centre halves, to have a wee bit of pace about them. That's the Rocky, isn't he? Got a lot of pace, and CCV's no the fastest either. But he's good. He's decent at reading the game. So I think 4 or 5 would be.
CCV has got a bit of pace about him. You know what I mean? His positional sense. And the bit of pace he's got works well together.
Good reading the game.
I mean, they're Bobby saying an English club when they pay good money for him. Exactly, because they had the chance. And do you know what I mean? It's not as if clubs down in England didn't know about Carter Vickers. He's been about a few times. And it's his lackey height and his lackey aerial dominance, if you want to call it that. That's what puts a lot of the teams off him.
Mm-hmm.
When we're pressing and controlling the game, Carter Vickers looks like a world beater for a centre back. But again, look at our set piece records. Joe Hart's at fault for a lot of them. But your centre backs, he's the main man. He should be organising the defence and stuff like that, and he just doesn't do that for me.
No,
I don't see this. I don't think we'll see this top £5 million. We're not going to get less from them than we paid for him.
That's what I was going to say. Bobby said we paid 6. We'd want to recoup at least that. Definitely. I mean
that's madness. Even that we're actually talking about this, considering, you know what I mean? But a few months back, Celtic fans were talking about it'd be £20 million. That kind of thing. I was like, there's never a chance we'll get that kind of money for Carter Vickers.
No. I don't know about Greg, where you've seen that the Rockies get pace, because I've not seen him get pace. The boy went across that box was at one of the games there, and I thought he was running in quicksand. I don't think he's get pace. No. But tell me this, see the European gate out the European teams we played. See if there was one player you could have picked to any of the Feyenoord, Lazio or Atletico team to sign for Celtic. Who'd that have been?
Griezmann.
Aye, that's exactly what
a player, man. Horrible bastard, but I love the guy. I've always liked him as a player.
That's the one player that I would have went for, mate. After watching him, and see especially that game Atletico gave us a drubbing. He was all over the pitch, left hand side, right hand side, up front, at the back, just floating about. Wonderful football player. Wonderful. There's nightmare saying Griezmann for him. Who's that? Bobby? Is he?
Jimenez. Who's that?
Santiago Jimenez. No idea. Who's that's? Some players are just some players are special.
Oh, right, boy for Feyenoord, right? I know who you're talking about now. See a picture of him.
Life. He's one of that's the one. That's the one player that I would have liked to have seen. I'm surprised he never done anything at Barca, but I think he was in the main man's shadow, wasn't he?
No, that was it at Barca. You didn't go on with Messi. You didn't go on at Barca.
That's it.
That was basically the thing. You know what I mean? Messi was a horrible guy behind the scenes. The way you treated guys that came in that were kind of threatening to steal his crown and that. Do you know what I mean? That's how I hate the wee steroid deduct freak. Drug cheat. It's a drug cheat.
Aye. Would you be happy with that? Your centre half into Europe, Rocky and Scales?
I wouldn't be ecstatic.
No,
but to be honest, I would probably be happier with that than I would be with Carter Vickers. Because again, hear me out, Jerry. When it comes to Europe, we'd need to do a lot of defending.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And who would you rely on more defending? Carter Vickers are like the Rocky or Scales together.
No, I would. Scales
out and out, big hairy arse.
Big
hairy arse defending. When Bawz are coming into the box, we're getting it. That's your ball. We're going for that.
Aye, that's sometimes in Europe. That's what you need, isn't it?
Well, I'll put it this way: we wouldn't have. Go back to even when we beat Barcelona 2-1. Do you know what I mean? The amount of pressure that was on us and that. Carter Vickers can't handle that kind of. Carter Vickers will only play at a top level team for that reason. He's not a good enough actual defender.
Welsh and Kobayashi all day, Bobby's saying. Aye.
FCC Stephen Welsh, future Celtic captain.
He's that Kobayashi's been horrific, wasn't he? Anytime you seen him.
Oh, I know.
He was terrible. He
was all right in The Usual Suspects. Apart from that, he never made another good film after that.
Aye. No,
it's like Gandhi. Made one good film, you never heard him again.
Japanese centre half, It's no, we've no had much luck with him.
No.
Him and Big Doobie at the back together.
But it's like some of them you've seen. It's like if they've never seen a football before, a football in their life, isn't it?
He was, flung about, man, like stripper's bra. The game that he played, it was just there was no strength or nothing about him for a centre half. Was unreal.
Lex Bailey, Greg saying. His mother was my wife's headmistress at school.
Who's that? Lex Bailey?
Lex Bailey, aye. He left Celtic and joined the police, I'm sure.
Aye.
Used to meet him a few times when about with a guy that stayed down the Boltman Road for his growing up. But his dad was that Doug Bailey, wasn't it? The writer, the journalist guy.
Yep.
Aye. His missus, I'm sure Lex's mum was Grotbag's headmistress at primary. At Hogwarts.
Martin's saying we now have 5 decent central defenders and I haven't been impressed with CCV at all this season. We had 10 million this summer, let him go with the injury record. Welsh is a good player. I would. We need Welsh for the quota, do we know? Anyway.
Aye. Is that good as well about Welsh? See if teams in Italy and down in England are looking at him and want to sign him. He must have something about him. So see if he is happy enough to be here at Celtic and just be that kind of bit part player to let him batter in if he's falling to sit there and fight for his place.
Yep.
It's like Greg Taylor. Look at the amount of left back Celtic have signed for the St. Greg Taylor. And who's our left back? Still Greg Taylor. He's seen every single one of them off.
How many have we signed?
Oh, Bernaby, Bolingoli.
Oh, aye, Bolingoli.
Aye, but we're still talking about players we've signed.
Aye.
I can't mean to his blog. It must have been James Forrest. I don't read that many blogs. It must have been him, and he was talking about it the other day. Yeah, but Bobby Laxell, aye, that was another one. You know what I mean? Greg Taylor still there, still won the first choice.
What had high hopes of Bolingoli and Laxall? I think Bolingoli because he's fee and Laxall because he's World Cup performances. He was getting that the team of the tournament, wasn't he?
Aye.
But, aye.
See that fade in here. Name your worst starting 11 the old time. I thought it was just your best because that's what I can't choose a best 11. It's murder.
Your best 11? No.
No.
It's brutal. See, it's ages and all that. See some of the, I've seen some of the boys picking their bet that they're born in the 2000 after. Some of the players have got in is frightening. But the worst, Greg would be good at that, man. He's always firing some of these things in our chats about the worst starting 11 and all the rest of it. There he's going with Ian Andrews in goal. Starting with
Carol Muggleton.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Carol Muggleton. Martin's pitting Barkas. Martin. Marco will be happy with you because he's apparently doing superb over in Holland, isn't it?
Aye. And they've just signed that Lammers and off of them.
Who?
That Utrecht.
Have they signed him?
Aye, they've signed that Lammers. I think it's only on loan right enough.
Aye. I wasn't surprised he was going to get chased down that Copeland Road anyway, wasn't it?
Matt Phillips and Raphael Shite as centre backs. I wouldn't have Matt Phillips in it. No, it's no Matt. It's Nat, is it? Is it no Nat Phillips? Matt.
Aye, Nat Phillips. Aye,
I don't think he played enough games to be put in one of our worst 11. Worst 11 teams.
You'd have Dewey in there before anybody.
He was right. He was a right back, wasn't he?
Aye.
Then you Martin Hayes.
Oh, Martin Hayes.
Arsenal were giving him a free transfer and Billy Milo for them £650,000 for him.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Janino? No, I wouldn't have put him in there.
But he didn't do much for us, did he?
Nah. It was terrible for us.
I'd have Agata in there.
Berichter, I would have went with him. Agata, did you say?
Aye, man. I hate it, Agata.
Oh, come on, man. No way.
Oh.
Who do you think was quicker, him or Maeda?
And what's a bit quicker got to do with it?
Honestly. Agata, if you look back at the amount of goals Agata actually set up,
see when he built Stone. Agata would have ended up Stone outside Wicks every Saturday. He didn't know when. He didn't know when to stop running. That's all he done.
Honestly, I know. I can see your country, but I'm telling you the new. See if you look back at the amount of goals that Agata set up, especially in that season we got to 2003. I'm telling you, man, I was shocked when I was watching some of the YouTube videos of the amount of goals he set up for Sutton, Larson, and Hartson for the right hand side. He had a decent cross on him when he crossed. He had a decent cross. No. I like what I got. Who do you think would have won a race? Him or Maeda?
Depends what direction they were running in.
You must have got a joke book for Christmas.
No, that's Sam Lamars for the Huns. He's signed for that Utrecht today. Just to have it was on the chat talking about it.
Aye, no, it's I think it was Kuhn was asking, or Aiden was asking. I never seen it either, Aiden. But I had heard that there was a team looking for him. I was shocked. But no, I liked Agata, man. I liked him.
I think that must be an age thing. I know. Mikey always sticks up for him in that as well, and I'm like, oh no, man.
Aye, no, I liked him. I was a fan for 50 grand. I thought he done as well. Like Maeda, you know, there's been a few.
You could probably pick two shitey 11s years, couldn't you?
Aye, 100%. What about our boy that one that ended up playing the World Cup final, Braffide? Remember him?
Aye.
Fuck, it was absolutely horrendous, man. Couldn't have trapped a bag of wet cement. Then he's playing the World Cup final.
Edson Braffield.
Edson Braffield.
Carlton Cole, Dion Dublin, Ian Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Wright was guy's an absolute prick. I was
going to say, he's a bohan.
Absolutely couldn't understand what that was about.
No, another rotten signing.
Vera Belter, Kyogo Dembele. Aiden asking.
I take it he's talking about I take he's Karamoko.
I think he's meaning Musa.
Musa wins hands down for me.
Every day of the week. every single day of the week. As I've said, I can't hear this talk about Kyogo being the best striker we've had for Larson and that. That's just bonkers talk for me.
Aye. No, I totally agree with you. No, I like wee Kyogo. But as we've said before, I think he's a 10. 10 before he's a 9.
Is that who that is?
Dion Dublin?
Aye, on that Homes Under the Hammer.
Aye.
I've seen flicking through channels, I've seen that and I thought that guy looks awful like Dion Dublin. I didn't know that actually was him. That's how he's took a rewriting absolute knobhead department for that then.
Aye, big Dion. Aye. No,
estate agent extraordinaire.
Aye. I don't get to see that stuff. It's either the Disney Channel or that. It's on in my house. I don't get to see the Homes Under the Hammer or anything like that.
Ollie Burke.
Aye. Here's another one.
Gary Gillespie. Here, Gary Gillespie. I'll tell you, but that's Greg Bybee. Gary Gillespie was a cracking player. He was just a bit over the hill when we got him, but see what we're talking about with even like Carter Vickers. She's actual like ball control. Yep. Gary Gillespie was a good ball playing centre back.
Mm-hmm.
Now again, I think his name just made us sign him kind of thing. But in his day, he was a cracking player, and he done no bad for us. Not in the same kind of league. I mean, throw Paul Elliott and guys like that into that, but I wouldn't put Gary Gillespie in one of our worst 11s. Definitely no.
No, big Paul Elliott, what a player,
I know.
For one season. Do you know who I liked? Reaper. Remember Big Mark Reaper?
Aye.
I loved him back in the day.
Alan Stubbs.
Aye. Fantastic.
I'm sure, see when we signed Stubbs, I'm sure we tried to sign Jason McAteer at the same time.
Aye, that's right. That was a rumour, wasn't it? We tried to get the two of them.
Aye, and Liverpool wanted the two of them as well, and Stubbs came up here. We went up, me and my mate, my brother-in-law now, we went up to Aberdeen for Big Stubbs' debut.
Aye.
I'd been saying, what a player this guy is and that, man. And that was the first game of the season was away to Pittodrie. And we went up, man. It took us about 3 days, I think, man. But we went back on it.
Camel ride.
But couldn't get sent off. He gets sent off, and I'm sitting saying in that, oh, wait till you see this guy playing that, and he gets sent off in his debut for Celtic, man.
Aye. I remember being in Asda when it got announced he was in my man Dash shopping when it announced it. We had signed him. And they were all talking about what a player he was, with 3.5 million, wasn't it?
Aye.
And how he we play these big long diagonal passes and was brilliant with the ball and all the rest of it. He didn't know too bad for somebody who had no zero pace. Big Stubbsy.
But as you said, there his passing in that for a centre back, man, it was different level to it was at the time. It was like
he was a unit, wasn't he?
Aye.
I think he's a coach now down at Everton.
I think he's involved in there.
Aye. So he done all right for us for 3.5 million.
No oil painting writing off a big man.
No, he's not going to be selling many posters, is he? But no, he's who's that? GG Pish, Enrico Annoni. Oh, hey, I met Enrico Annoni one day. It was brilliant. Him and Decanio, many moons ago. But I like big Enrico Annoni. Not much a player, but his fashion sense.
No, I thought he was a good player. He gave when he played, he gave it all.
Aye, when it was we got one for Roma and the other one for Decanio was Milan, wasn't it?
Yes, Milan, aye.
He wasn't here that long. Zeng Z. He wasn't here that long, wasn't he? No.
Who?
Annoni.
I've seen a few seasons.
Is it? Who was it who coined that phrase? Oh no, Annoni on and off. Somebody did actually say that. They mentioned it in the live chat. I can't remember who it was. It was a player. Was it Malky Mackay? Somebody said Malky Mackay.
I can't mind who it was.
I'm sure
somebody did actually say it.
Somebody said to us a tear. I can't remember that the actual person that coined that phrase was a player. I thought it was a fan, but apparently it was a player. I think it was Malky Mackay. On there. And
on belter. Malky Mackay. He was a big cart horse man.
Aye, no half. Remember there was folk wanting him as the manager.
Aye.
You can't believe it. wanted him as a manager. Capo, Ali Adair. Remember that Ali Adair? He came with a high kind of rating at one point. I thought he was going to be a decent player, and then disappeared right after. The boy we got for Arsenal on loan, striker. I think he came in when Stratton was here. Played about 2 games, and then
the name rings a bell, but I can't picture the guy. But
he done well just before he came into it with Arsenal, and everybody had high hopes of him, and he came in. I don't think he could hit water if he fell out of a boat. He was garbage, and then disappeared and never done a hand's turn again.
I've seen somebody saying there, Kieran earlier on, saying it's funny how things work out. I'll tell you one of the funniest ones is just calling it funny. Petrov. I can remember at Celtic Park, Petrov came on to make his debut. I'm sure it was
back.
Aye, he played him. He went to right back, and see when he was standing on the touchline.
Aye,
I was obviously up my snobby seats in that. Do you know what I mean? And everybody like, who's this wee fat fucker? Man, look at the size of his arse. Honest to God, he was a wee fat get, man.
Aye.
No, I mean, it just shows you how things can change just when you're getting that a break of different managers and stuff like that.
He struggled massively apparently at the start at Celtic.
Aye.
Somebody, I don't know if this is just shite, that used to, he'd pals, there was some, but I don't know if this is true, right? So folk like, this guy's talking shite. See the burger van that used to always be open at the Royal?
Aye.
I think it was the one at the Royal. He used to go down there and store and talk to the guy and that down there. He was that lonely. I don't know if that's bullshit or somebody noising me up. But apparently when he first came to Celtic, it was severely, really, really lonely. I don't think his family or that were over here with him, and he struggled big time.
He was only 19 or something like that.
Aye. So, what a player he turned out to be for us.
Oh, aye.
I was gutted when he left.
He's one of the best players I've seen in a Celtic shirt.
I was gutted when he left.
Aye.
But he was a fantastic when he got moved into that midfield. It was brilliant. Who was it that signed him?
Kenny Dalglish.
Was it Dalglish?
That was Dalglish and John Barnes.
I think we'll move on quickly. I don't want to remember that era.
See the thing about that's even back at the times in that. Right, Dalglish and Barnes left as Petrov. Dr. Joe left as Moravcik. Vim left as Henrik. They did leave us, do you know what I mean? They left us a couple of gems in. Aye, even though things maybe didn't go the right kind of way.
Venglos, man. I can still remember I was going out to play 7-a-sides at Broadwood when they said that he was announced. I was like, who? We were all trying to find out who was Joe Venglos. Nobody had a clue. And then when he signed Lubo, I think 33 and he's signing somebody at 300 odd grand. What the fuck's going on here? And then obviously,
I mean, Keevans and that, it was all going on because we didn't buy John Spencer, went to imagine signing this old guy for 80 or something like that.
Yep. Aye. And then you go on to think, what a player Lubo was, You feel fortunate and blessed to go to see him in a Celtic jersey.
Where was he then?
Well, was it Zidane or somebody that was talking about one of his favourite ever players?
I'm sure there's a few French players of that.
But I can't remember the reasons for him not getting the massive transfer that he should have had. Because he was imagine
a player like him, the day we were talking about earlier, all this stat-driven stuff and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Still don't know if it was his stronger foot, his left or his right. So I mean, it was just he had everything. He could score with his head, pass, trap, tackle, run, carry the ball, whatever. Just always, anytime with the ball, it just seemed as if he had acres of space. Wonderful footballer. Thank God. I need to thank Joe for bringing him over here, but I can't remember the reasons how he never got that big move to earlier than he did. He should have.
You're right, Martin.
I was in school back then and all, Martin.
You're right, you and all.
I was in school back then and all, mate. I know it doesn't sound it, it'll not look it. I had a paper round.
Jerry get held back 25 years at school.
Aye. Yeah, paper round in Kabul, but it looks of things and all. So that was that.
Hey, Jerry, mind your night shift, bud.
I know, mate. I am. I'll be leaving in 20 minutes, so I better go and get these dogs and that walked and stop talking gammon and go and speak to the rest of these half-wits I'm out with the night.
Right, no bother, bud. Thanks very much for coming on again, Jerry, mate. Really appreciate it, considering
Hail, everyone. Thanks for listening. Cheers, Marco. Take care,
Hey,
mate.
good night,
Bye-bye.
bud. God bless.
Bye.
Hey, again, thanks to everybody that joined the live chat. Hope you enjoyed it. We didn't have much to talk about, but we just tried to put something out. We were hoping that the Kuhn signing would have been announced at some point today and give us a bit of something to talk about. But hope you enjoyed it anyway. We're just trying to fill a bit of a gap. If you have not subscribed, please do so. If you know how to leave a comment, and please hit the like button. Hail, lads. Good night and God bless.